It was supposed to be a joke. Kyler Hayes, a mid-tier YouTuber known for urban exploration and haunted challenge videos, had built his following off late-night live streams in places no one else dared to enter. Crumbling asylums forgotten, tunnels, sealed-off subway stations, he had seen them all. But on the night of October 2nd, he took his viewers somewhere different. A place even the locals warned him about, the Delmar Motel, perched just off a stretch of decaying highway in rural Pennsylvania. The Delmar hadn't taken guests in over 15 years. The windows were boarded up, the neon vacancy sign long shattered, but its reputation still pulsed in whispers. Strange lights at night, missing persons reports, and a motel owner had disappeared without a trace. Tyler had planned it all outstream. The entire thing lived for maximum engagement. His thumbnail teased, 24 hours in America's most haunted motel, gone wrong. His signature nervous grin opened the stream. We're going dark tonight, guys. I brought night vision, EMF sensors, the works. If anything's here, we'll catch it. At 11:02 p.m., he arrived. The parking lot was cracked and overgrown. The air felt heavier than usual, thick, unmoving, as if the place itself was holding its breath. Tyler laughed it off, talking to the chat as he scanned the crumbling facade. Creepy, right? Place looks like Silent Hill. Viewers joked along, tossing in ghost emojis and daring him to enter room 6B, a room frequently mentioned in online legends surrounding the Delmar. Tyler took the bait. Fine, 6B it is. You sick freaks win. He climbed through a busted-out window and stepped into the motel's main corridor, his flashlight catching remnants of old wallpaper peeling like rotted skin. Mold dust hovered in the beam like snow. This is so gross, he muttered, but didn't stop filming. The hallway creaked beneath his feet as he moved past rooms with doors hanging off hinges. Mattresses half-burned, graffiti on every surface. Then came room 6B. The door was slightly ajar. He hesitated. Okay, chat. Tell me I'm not the only one getting a bad vibe. The stream briefly glitched, just a flicker, and the chat exploded. Did anyone else see that? Back it up there. Was someone standing in the hall? Nope. I saw a face in the corner. But Tyler didn't notice. He was too focused on forcing the door open, making exaggerated scared faces for the stream. Inside, room 6B looked like all the others except for one detail. There was a single chair in the center of the room, facing the wall. Nothing else. Guess the ghost redecorated, he joked, circling the chair with his camera. He didn't see the small smear of dried blood on the floor behind it, or the dark figure in the mirror that moved, but had no reflection of Tyler beside it. The chat kept trying to warn him, but he laughed it off. And then he sat in the chair. The feed cut to black. The screen stayed black for 13 seconds. Just long enough to make thousands of live viewers think Tyler was pulling one of his usual jump scare stunts. Then, suddenly, the stream came back, grainy, flickering. Tyler was still in the chair, except now he wasn't speaking. His camera had shifted to the floor, tilted sideways as if it had fallen. His feet were visible, unmoving. Chat erupted. Dude, are you okay? Get up. What's happening? This better not be fake, bro. The night vision stayed on. Everything looked green and warped, casting shadows where there shouldn't have been any. The camera's audio picked up something else, something faint breathing, but it wasn't Tyler's. This was deeper, slower, wet. Like someone just inches from the mic. Viewers stared in stunned silence. Then the breathing stopped and a shape emerged. In the far corner of the frame. Behind the chair, a silhouette moved. It was a man. Or what looked like one. His clothes were colorless in the infrared light, but his outline was unmistakable. Broad shoulders, long arms, head tilted at an unnatural angle, like it had once been broken and never properly set. He stepped closer, slow and deliberate. The chat exploded into chaos. Who is that behind you? Oh my God. Tyler, move, move. But Tyler didn't react. He was slumped forward, like he had passed out or was pretending to for the bit. The figure came to a stop directly behind the chair. Then he crouched up as if he knew exactly where the camera had landed. The viewers could see his face now, pale, eyes glassy. No expression, no blinking. His skin looked sick gray like paper soaked in water, and under his right eye, a stitched scar curved upward toward his temple, jagged, like it had been done with something dull. He stared into the lens, not at Tyler, not at the room, not at them. Every viewer watching from home saw the same thing. The figure grinning slowly, teeth like broken pieces of bone, before disappearing out of frame just as Tyler stirred. He groaned, then reached down to pick up the camera, grumbling. Sorry, must have dropped it. Batteries being weird. Chat went insane, flooding with messages, warnings, all caps panic, but Tyler scrolled right past them, shaking his head. You guys are wild. Making stuff up already. I swear if I get nightmares from this place. He turned to leave the room and the chair. It was gone, so was the figure. There was no sign anyone else had ever been in the room. Tyler continued exploring the motel for another hour. Nothing else happened, nothing dramatic. Just creepy ambience and cheap scares. Eventually, he ended the stream with a goofy salute and promised to edit the footage into a full video later, but the damage was already done. Because someone watching that night wasn't just another fan. They had seen the man in the corner before. It started with a Reddit thread posted under the paranormal board just hours after the live stream ended. It was titled, "There was someone else in Tyler Hayes' stream, and he was watching you." The original poster, a user named Spectral Archivist, had screen recorded the moment when the figure appeared behind Tyler in room 6B. They slowed it down, zoomed in, adjusted the contrast, and what they found was worse than any jump scare. The man's eyes weren't just staring at the camera. They were tracking it, aware, focused, intent not worse still. At the exact moment he tilted his head, frame by frame, his lips moved, barely, almost imperceptibly. But with enhancement, it became clear. He was mouthing something over and over again. Do. You see it? Do you see it? Do you see it? The post went viral overnight. Dozens of viewers chimed in, uploading timestamps from the stream. Not just from room 6, but from earlier, in the motel hallway, even outside. In several frames, obscured by shadows or reflections, the same figure could be seen in the background, watching. One viewer noticed him standing behind a cracked door in the hallway when Tyler passed by. Another caught a silhouette in the parking lot, frozen under a streetlight that hadn't worked in years. None of it made sense. Tyler never saw him, but the viewers had. He was always there. And then came the final discovery. A viewer named Riley Jenkins, a true crime hobbyist with way too much free time, took things further. She recognized something familiar about the stitch scar on the figure's face. It matched a sketch she'd seen years ago on an old forum about missing persons and cold cases. She posted a side-by-side comparison. It was uncanny. The man in Tyler's stream bore a striking resemblance to Marcus Elroy, a drifter accused of murdering 2 women across state lines in 1998. He was never caught. His last known sighting, checking into the Delmar Motel under a false name. According to archived police records, Riley found the room Marcus stayed in before vanishing was 6B. She emailed everything, screenshots, forum links, comparisons to the local sheriff's department. At first, no one took her seriously until someone else, an off-duty detective, saw the footage independently and confirmed what Riley feared. The man in the stream wasn't just a lookalike, he was wearing the same jacket Marcus had been wearing in his 1998 MUGSHOT, that same tear along the sleeve, same missing button. Someone had found him, or something had become him. Within 48 hours, authorities reopened the case file on Marcus Elroy. But when they returned to the Delmar Motel to investigate, what they found inside room 6B changed the course of the story. Forever, Tyler's live stream wasn't fiction. It was evidence. The police arrived at the Delmar Motel just after sunset. They came quietly, no sirens, no flashing lights. Just two unmarked cruisers, a forensics van, and Sheriff Glenn Mallory, who'd been on the original Elroy case back in '98. He was 26 then, fresh out of the academy. Now 52 and half retired, he hadn't stepped foot near the Delmar in over 2 decades. Not since the last time they searched room 6B. They pried open the warp door just after 7 p.m. The air was stale and sweet with mildew. But underneath it was something newer, metallic, sharp, a scent no cop ever forgets. Blood dug the floorboards, long rotted and warped from water damage, were cracked open in one corner. What started as a routine check quickly turned forensic when a technician lifted a splintered panel and found traces of dried blood pooled between the joists, blackened, soaked deep into the subfloor. Next came the chair, still there, same position. But now, something else, tucked just beneath it, flattened under one leg like a forgotten receipt, was a yellowed motel registration card. Smudged but legible. Name, M. Elroy. Date, the 2nd of October 1998. Room 6B. Payment, cash. It hadn't aged a day. Mallory stared at it, his hands trembling despite the gloves. We never found this. Not back then. That's when the dog unit alerted scratching furiously at the corner of the bathroom, where peeling tile had covered a crawl space no one had noticed. It took a crowbar to lift the edge, but once they did, they found the source of the smell. Bone. Fragments. 3 partial femurs, 2 jawbones. Dozens of scattered teeth. Human remains. At least 2 victims buried beneath 6B. And in the same crawl space, wedged between a beam and the insulation, they found something else. A camera. Not Tyler's. This one was old. A handheld camcorder from the 90s, water damaged but mostly intact. The techs bagged it immediately for processing. What played back chilled the room to silence. The footage was dark. Grainy handheld someone walking through the very same motel in night vision. Breathing heavily, mumbling, the final minute showed. A woman, bound and gagged, seated in the same chair Tyler sat in on stream. Her eyes swollen, terrified, the camera zoomed in slowly, too slowly, until the frame trembled with anticipation, and then nothing. The tape cut off. When police reviewed the exact timestamp. October 2nd, 1998, exactly 27 years to the day before. Tyler's live stream. The motel had been quiet for decades. No new guests, no break-ins. Nothing reported. Until Tyler returned. Sheriff Mallory said it best in his written report. It's as if the motel itself had been waiting for someone to finish what was started. And Tyler walked right into the story without knowing he was the final chapter. But there was still one more question. If Elroy had vanished in 1998 and those were his victims, then who or what was the man in Tyler's video? 2 weeks passed. Tyler hadn't uploaded since the live stream. No tweets. No Instagram stories. No follow-up video. Fans initially assumed he was just milking the suspense, but the silence grew loud. Too loud. By day 10, his Discord server was flooded with concern. Day 14, his mother filed a missing person report. Police searched his apartment. No signs of forced entry, struggle, or departure. His editing laptop was on the kitchen table, open. and still running the video file from that night paused at the moment he sat in the chair in room 6. B. The playhead hovered exactly at 1 hour, 4 minutes, and 13 seconds. That's when things began to unravel. An officer accidentally brushed the keyboard, and the video skipped back a few seconds, rewound, and then played again. But something changed. Tyler wasn't alone anymore. Behind him stood the man, the same stitched face, the same glassy eyes, but this time he moved, slowly, deliberately, and unlike the original stream. Tyler turned. He saw him. Tyler looked right at the man, wide-eyed, mouth trembling. He whispered something. The audio was faint. Forensics enhanced it. "You're not real." To which the figure responded clear as ice, "But you are." Then the screen went black. A new file popped up on the laptop's desktop. It hadn't been there before. Replay_final.mp4. No metadata. No creation date. Just the title. Officers played it once. Only once. It was new footage. Tyler's apartment. From the perspective of a camera hidden somewhere high, maybe the ceiling corner. Tyler enters the room, sits at his desk, opens the video, plays the file, then, from behind a tall figure, steps into frame. Same stitched face, same tilted head, but now in Tyler's home. The figure leans in, whispers something unintelligible. Tyler turns and screams. Not a horror movie scream, raw, guttural, real. Then the feed cuts to static. The video ends with a single text frame. Do you see it now? Authorities confiscated the laptop. The file was never recovered again, as if it deleted itself, or had never existed outside that one horrifying playthrough. But that wasn't the end, because 3 nights later, Riley Jenkins, the Reddit user who connected the figure to Marcus, Elroy received a package at her doorstep. No return address. Inside, a flash drive. And on it, a single file. Elroy_chair.mp4. It began with Tyler's stream. Room 6B, the chair. But this time, the camera was from behind the chair, watching Tyler sit down. Not live streamed. Not from his camera, but someone else's. Someone already in the room. At the end, just before it cut out, there was movement. The figure leaned into frame. Only half of his face was visible, just enough to see the stitch scar curve upward, and his mouth move. One word, one single word, mouthed in perfect sync with the end of the clip. Next. Tyler Hayes was never found. The Delmar Motel was razed and burned to the ground under court order, but copies of the stream, they still circulate, frame by frame, on forums and emails, passed between believers and thrill seekers like a cursed chain. Letter and the man in the video. He always watches back,